Meeting to order. Please rise. Begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. For the record, it's Monday, September 17th, and a quorum is present. The chair and the vice chair are not here, so the immediate past chair will be chairing tonight, which is myself. We will start tonight hearing from the Water and Sewer Superintendent Bernie Marshall. Bernie, would you like to begin?
Good evening, Mr. Past Chair and distinguished board. Here tonight to discuss two water articles for town meeting and one sewer article for town meeting, and I will start wherever you'd like.
Why don't you start?
So I have, if you want to start with sewer,
That's fine.
probably going to be the less painful of the three, which
Okay.
none really are very painful at this point. The sewer article, what we've come up with is, we had that expansion project on the West Main Street side of town. It's the Woodlands Meadow, and basically what we're asking is for your support. We're looking for an easement from the Department of Housing and Community Development, the Norton Housing Authority, and to be accepted by the town of Norton, the townspeople. Basically, the easement's going to place the building. It'll place the sewer pipe and the additional services that need to service the building, electric, gas, and other minuscule utilities. So that will be what we're looking for our sewer article. And I'll answer any questions that you may have. There's no money involved. This project's been fully funded. It's already been voted at town meeting, and it's still in the design phase. We're looking for an agreement with the Department of Housing and Community Development and also the Housing Authority. So we're waiting for an agreement to actually do the participate in the project for fees, and we're also looking for easements that the town will vote that this water and sewer commissioners will be able to take the land as far as an easement.
Peter?
What are temporary easements? Just
Temp-
space need for trucks?
The temporary easement, yeah, it would be for the initial in and out for the actual project to be done, yeah, built. Permanent easement will be the placing of the building, so on and so forth.
Which article is this?
It's 11.
Is it 11, Bernie, the article?
I'm not sure. I don't have a draft of all the articles.
Like 11?
It's
I'm
11.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just have a copy of the language for me.
I see it here. Yeah, I got it.
I apologize. As I said, Mr. Chairman, this does not involve any money, does not involve any borrowing. That's already been taken care of. It's already been voted last time meeting. Weston and Sampson right now are in the design phase. I've already had at least 4 different property owners on West Main Street approach me as to the availability, when it's going to be, when it's going to break ground. I don't have that yet. We were hoping for this fall. However, like I said, we're still in the easement process. We haven't had any kind of documents signed by the DHCD or the Norton Housing Authority. So Weston and Sampson is still drawing it as well. And we don't have any state permits to open the road yet. So
Okay.
this will be going on in the spring. Sir?
So, I'm looking at the picture,
Yep.
and there's there's a proposed easement. It looks like it's along the driveway. Is that like a big L, kind of, like coming down the driveway, and it's got 25 and 40, and then another 20, and then a square block?
Right, so this is, like I said, this will be with the Norton Housing Authority, and there were a few different areas that they wanted to place the building, when they first actually had the conceptual, and this is the area that Weston and Sampson has deemed, and also the lawyer that Norton Sewer hired to take the land.
So what's in the rectangular block just below the writing, proposed 10-foot temporary easement, is that just a piece of land that's?
I would imagine that that is going to be where the main line comes out of the building and onto Route 123?
Yeah, that's
The rest,
20-foot permanent sewer easement.
right, the rest I would imagine would be from the gravity coming from the actual Norton Housing Authority?
Oh, okay.
Yes, Mike?
How close is the pumping station going to be to the residential building?
I really haven't had a conceptual building plan. This is just the taking of the land. I haven't had I don't have a footprint of the building yet.
Do you know how much of a buffer is?
I would say it's going to, when people talk about sewer pump stations and so on and so forth, they get a little nervous and concerned. If you go down Fillmore Drive and you take a look at the placement of the pump station on Wheaton College property, nice brick building, no odors, no noise, very quiet. And I'm sure that this is going to be built in the same fashion as that. So there shouldn't be any impact, and I'm sure that they're going to have plantings and so on and so forth around it. Most of my sewer stations in town, you virtually, they don't stick out like sore thumbs.
Yeah. I think there's no underground utility lines, are there?
I am not sure what Route 123 has out there. I don't know if it's all overhead or if it does come.
Yeah.
I don't know if it comes in
I know there's no
underground or not.
Yeah, okay. There's no
Like
natural.
I said, it's still in the design phase, and this is just, like I said,
Okay.
this is just for the easement for the building and for the taking, so we can start the project.
Very good. Any other questions before we move on? Okay.
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 So I have two articles in front of you for water main improvements. We have a $11 million treatment facility that's being built as we speak. We also have water main improvements that need to be done. Right now, I have a water main improvement project that's on Reservoir Street from Elm Street to Mansfield Ave. These two projects right here are going to increase the water quality of the town. It's also going to get rid of a couple of bad spots that we have for up near Home Street, near Norton Glen. We have some asbestos cement pipe that's been in the ground since the 50s, early 60s that I need to replace. There's two dead ends in that area. And what this project's going to do is it's going to put brand-new ductile iron main on Home Street as you head towards Easton. And it's going to, what it's going to do, it's going to take, I have two water mains out there now. One is asbestos cement that feeds Home Street. The other one is relatively new 12-inch ductile iron that goes by the fitness area and by the new storage facility, and it ends there. I'm going to connect the two. That way there, it'll make a loop system, and the water will travel around better. It won't have a dead-end source, and it won't collect dirty water in the area. So Norton Glen, we have a lot of citizens that live down in that area. This area was deemed as part of a critical area that when we go down and flush, unfortunately, it was engineered back in the 50s and the 60s, maybe the early 70s. There aren't very many fire hydrants that go in there and open up, so it can create a problem. So this is going to eliminate a lot of water quality issues in that portion up near the Easton line. From Birch Street right down 123, Bernie and Phil's, and that whole area. The water will quiescently travel in that area. It won't have dead ends, and we'll have a better quality of water.
How does that affect the pressure?
It won't affect the pressure at all. The pressure will stay the same. The only time the pressure is differential is when we have a water main break. But the pressure is the pressure all the time. And we'll be working in conjunction with the new treatment plant that's supposed to be online that will be online in the fall of, sorry, I misspoke, in the fall of 2019. Obviously, it's less than a mile and a half to 2 miles away from the treatment facility, so we're going to have cleaner water going through cleaner pipes. It just makes a lot of sense. The $520,000 is a good number that just was handed to me by Weston and Sampson. They developed that number last week. This number I'm not looking really to borrow this money, and we'll talk about the borrowing for the next article. This article, I have, and the reason why I bring this up is because I have the Reservoir Street project that's going on right now. And I asked for $1.125 million in reserve. That project's going to come underneath that 1.125 million. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have a surplus from that job. So whatever I have for a surplus of that job, I want to subtract from the 520, and I'll ask for that out of surplus, which is a smaller number. So I'm looking at possibly around 225,000, but the number for the project is 520.
When will you know?
That's fine.
Oh, I'm sorry, Barney.
I want to make sure I follow through. When will you know?
The Reservoir Street project is halfway done.
Okay.
So I'm looking at probably around 3 weeks. I'm hoping that I'll have a good number for you by town meeting. I should have it by town meeting.
So will the townspeople?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
What do you contribute the savings?
The savings, well,
Oh.
we won't be getting a loan for it. So
No, I mean the budget on Reservoir.
I'm looking at, I'm hoping that I'm going to at least save 225,000
Yeah.
from that project.
Is that
So-
just scope of work, or is it materials?
Actually, it is, because the project's actually, they haven't encountered any rock. There hasn't been any kind of, you know, the project's going very smooth, very quickly.
Great,
I'm having snow removal flashbacks from the spring.
all right.
So that, like I said, this first article will be, I would imagine, I'm going to try to take that out of reserves. Well, I will ask for it to be taken out of reserves when we have a better idea, a closer number. But that is the number of the project itself. That will not change.
Okay. Any further questions, Article 9? Hearing none, okay. Move on.
So my next article would be Pine Street water main improvements. Set the table for you a little bit. On Pine Street, about 3/4 of the way down, if you're heading from Wheaton College, on the right, I have well number 1. Well number 1's been in service since probably the 1940s. However, the distribution system outside on Pine Street in that area from Crane to Plain Street is a 6-inch water main that was put in probably around 1910, 1920. It's a 6-inch water main. It's a 6-inch water main. If it's clear inside, it's about that big. But because we all know that we have an iron and manganese problem, and it's not a new one, we've had one for years in Norton. However, it collects and it shrinks the pipe inside, it shrinks the pipe inside, it shrinks the pipe inside. So I probably have a water main out on Pine Street that's about this large in diameter. So you can understand that if I have an incident that's on one side or an incident on the other, there's a high volume of water, goes through a very small area, and it takes all the particles and stuff with it. That's why in Pine Street, that's why we've determined that that is an area of concern. So I'm very fortunate because Crane Street, and where Crane Street kind of hooks around, where Pine and the intersection is, and Plain Street, those are new ductile iron mains. So what I'm going to ask for is coming out of my station, if you're on Pine Street and you're at my station number 1, and you take a right heading down towards Crane Street, that's all brand-new ductile iron main. That's probably around 8 years old, 10 years old or so. If you take a left heading towards Wheaton College, that's the area in question. It's about 6,000 feet, and I'm asking to improve that for $2.7 million and to borrow the money for it.
Is that the 6,000 feet of road we just paved?
It was redone by Keith, yes. But we'll be in one travel lane, and we will make sure that the road is placed back into appropriate service. And a lot of the $2.7 million is not just water main, it's asphalt. Because right now, asphalt is very expensive, for any project, actually.
Questions?
And these areas have been looked at by Weston and Sampson. Weston and Sampson, I asked the Capital Improvement Committee, and I also asked you last spring to approve my capital budget. My capital budget, we have Weston and Sampson is leading us into tomorrow with our master plan. And these 2 water mains have been identified as the first 2 water mains of the master plan. The master plan is still being developed, but we're taking a proactive approach. Treatment facility, I have a unidirectional flushing program that we've also instituted since I was a superintendent. We also have a hydraulic model that actually was the first step. So this is pipe, you know, we'll have the treatment facility that's ongoing, and then we'll have pipe replacement, I would say, within 2 or 3 year span. and we'll identify the areas that need to be taken care of, and that's the way we're going to go forward.
Paul?
I well understand the problems and the shrinkage because of the manganese and iron. But have you done any sort of test sample or something to ascertain
There's really not.
what really has happened inside those pipes?
There's really not, but we know that there is, because there's constriction in the water flow.
Well, 6 inches is a restriction in itself.
Right, and it's old, so in other words, you had something that was put in when you had 5,000 people as a population in a well that's feeding 5,000 people. Now you have a well that I'm using to feed 18,000 people with other wells, obviously, but my vessel is constricted. It's just like when you go to the doctor and you need something opened up, same thing.
Final questions?
All right,
Okay, thank you, Bernie.
thank you.
Okay, moving on, I think Mike will come up, and we'll talk about his issues, his articles.
Just, get it open. Just to give you an idea of where we are with fund balances, I think you have that in your packet. Right now, our certified free cash, as you found out last week, is $3,340,583. In ambulance reserve, we have $1,352,087. Capital is $270,390. The dog fund is $86,311. OPEB is $375,370, and stabilization, $1,745,524. And down the bottom is the water surplus retained earnings, $2,714,075, and sewer surplus retained earnings, $1,661,261. Now, just, I know I've had this before in the past, this directive from the Department of Revenue, that under sound financial policies, a community would strive to generate free cash in an amount equal to 3 to 5% of its annual budget. Free cash would not be depleted in any year, so that the following year's calculation would begin with a positive balance. We did that this year barely, and I'll get into the free cash and where the sources are. There's the free cash certification that you had last week. Here's just a history of our free cash going back to 2002. And as you can see, obviously this year it's less than last year, because last year we had that one-time El Nilam 1.5 million roughly permit fee, and that's the difference. So this year, the 3.34 is, what percentage is that of our budget?
Our budget is 55 million.
You do the math, Pete? Okay.
It's it is
Somebody can
about,
tell me.
what's that, 2.7,
Okay, I think they were at 2.7's okay.
that's what, 2.7 million would be about 5%, I think.
0.7.
No.
Let me do the math.
83 divided by 55 million.
And so free cash is made up of turnbacks and also revenue above expectations. And so this is a breakdown of the turnbacks this year. The first one is debt interest, $19,393.86. Function 9 is benefits, which is unemployment, miscellaneous, insurance, gas, fuel. General government
is Function 1, $259,374. Public Safety, $137,280. Public Works, Snow and Ice, Street Lights, $62,429 turned back. Human Services, which is COA, Veterans Office, $41,527 turned back. And then Cultural Recreation, which includes library and memorial and Veterans Days, $1,362. Function 300, which is the school department, a turn back of $35,839.85. That's from money that was encumbered in FY17 and wasn't spent in FY18, so it gets closed out.
So
Yep.
just to be clear, I just
Yep.
want to make sure. So all of this money here is stuff we budgeted, but no one used the money, so we
Right.
get it back.
Right.
Okay.
And just, like general government, 100,000 of that is your money, your reserve fund turned back.
Oh, well, not my money, but I know what you mean. FinCom reserve,
Right.
that was my money.
Not your money personally.
Where does the veterans
We'll cut you a check after the
return
meeting.
from the veterans?
She had roughly, that's benefits.
Yeah, you know where we allow 200,000 to 20,000.
Yeah. She had almost 30,000 in veterans benefits. We budget our best estimate on what we're going to have for benefits during the year. And unfortunately, you have people that die during the year or people that might get off during the year. So it all gets turned back.
Like, under general government, human services, 41,527.
What are you looking at?
General government,
That's
function 5.
That's what Paul was just asking about that. The bulk of that was the veterans' benefits.
Questions? Peter?
One more. So are these typical? Do we have like historical of this? Is this the first time you do this for us, or?
No, we've done this every year.
Yeah, okay. Shows how much I pay attention sometimes.
And
Sorry.
like typical police salaries and under Function 2, the bulk of that is police, $36,706 turned back in salary money, and fire, $79,799. Now, I know that half the year the police have had someone out injured, and I know fire has had 3 guys out injured, so
So insurance pays some of their,
insurance pays their salary when they're out. And under Function 4, the majority is, the street lights was $22,812, and salaries from highway, $24,000. It was the same thing, someone out injured, and then position that was opened and not filled right away.
Aaron?
Can you give us a little bit of a breakdown on function 9 and what all that stuff is?
Function 9, the bulk of that, 80,000 turned back in other insurance. That's all the insurances that we have. 23,706 in unemployment insurance that wasn't used, and then 446,000 in medical insurance.
So we carry. So why are we laying up? Why are we so far off in the medical insurance? Is it just that we did?
It's just a combination of the increase not coming in as high as was thought, and then also the best estimate on people that was on single plans going to family plans and new hires, wondering, how many people that became new hires were going to actually go on the insurance.
Yeah, go ahead. Yep, sure. go ahead.
And what, remind me, what's our budget for insurance for the year?
About 7 million.
Yeah, I suspect it was.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Yep.
Mike,
Yep.
I think, Aaron, part of what you're seeing in there, don't we carry a six-figure number that is for the reimbursement account? Would that be a part of this 581?
That wouldn't get turned back.
Okay, so that's not a part of this?
No.
Okay,
And I'll double check on that, but that's not what the balance is in that now, but that wouldn't be a turn back.
right, I wouldn't expect that.
No, that's a reserve.
Amy?
Just to clarify, do these numbers include anything that was supplemented at Fall Town Meeting, or are these just the original budget numbers?
It would be anything, a lot of these, the police and fire, we would have added their overtime
Right.
back in at Fall Town Meeting. I know
Okay.
for one.
Right.
And I don't know about any of the others.
All
off
right,
the
I just
top
want
of
to
my
make sure that that specifically was baked into these
Yep.
numbers too, okay.
Final questions?
Okay. And then, this sheet gives you a snapshot of our local receipts over the years. And then we'll go into, let me get the sheet. Do you have in your packet the breakdown of, it's probably after this, let me find it. Appropriation, oh, here we go. Appropriations versus actual,
We go from,
you don't have that?
no, we are from the receipt snapshot right into OPEB.
So the other thing that makes up free cash is appropriations above, the local receipts, excuse me, above actual. Now, do you have that in your pack? I'm just seeing if I
We have
it.
that.
You do
Talking about
not?
this- And we talking about the summary stable?
Local receipts,
The snapshot?
you should have local receipts
We have that.
versus, because local receipts were about $1 million more than anticipated. If you just give me a second, I'll find mine to go over it with you.
Let's just see the budgeted numbers against the actuals.
And the main items in the local receipts that exceeded what was budget or planned for, under licenses and permits, we exceeded expectations by $393,576. And the bulk of that was actually in June, $203,506 in permit fees in the month of June at the end of the year. And also, other departmental revenue,
Was that Leonard Street at all?
not yet. No, I don't think you're going to see anything for Leonard Street for a year, at least. And then it would be the dorm at Wheaton would have been a good chunk of it. And then the other departmental revenue, which is Medicaid, school-based Medicaid reimbursement, exceeded expectations by $141,000, and we received a check at the end of June for $144,926. So it was just a matter of not whether it was coming in June or July. And then our auto excise exceeded the budget estimate by $978,816. And when we did our budget this year, we upped the auto excise by $500,000.
It's actually, last year was its best year, last year.
Yeah. And when we do our estimates on receipts, we look at a 5-year average. Because, you don't know what's going to happen.
I think some of that's related to the East Main apartments.
Could be.
And then it could be,
Right.
The Cisco or home markets now, and was it waste management?
Yep.
And
Waste management, their trucks.
Yeah, Bonnie.
Could you give that number one more time for licenses and permits, the first one?
Sure. Licenses and permits exceeded expectations by $393,576. And I was saying that just in June, we received $203,506. So
Thank you.
Yes, Aaron.
Permits for people making housing improvements or?
that's all part of that.
Yeah, Wheaton's building a new dorm.
Yeah,
Okay.
quite a bit.
And so, just on what do we use the free cash for? As I said, this year, we only carried $300,000 of free cash into this year. So that's all that the balance remaining uncommitted. So one of the things, obviously, is OPEB, and this will give you a history of OPEB over the years. We started out in FY12 with 1,000 and went up to 40,000. We only put 10 in 14, and then 60 and 15, 70 and 16, and 80 and 17, and 85,000 last year. And then the stabilization, back in the years that Paul and Tom can probably remember, we were taking money out of stabilization. So you can see in '06, '08, twice in '08, and once in '10 and '10, we took money out. And we didn't put any money in 2011, 12, 13, and then in 14, we started getting back into getting our stabilization back up. And last year, we put $300,000 into stabilization. And our stabilization right now should be at 2.7, and we're at about 1.7. And this is obviously rough until we go any further with our request for fall town meeting. With our beginning balance of free cash of $3,340,583, and if we do the usual $600,000 for FY20 budget, and then I just reserved a figure of $700,000 for the October town meeting. No, not saying that's the figure. That's just based on what people have submitted. OPEB, 90,000. Capital, 900,000. Stabilization, 300,000, and then hold 250,000 for snow and ice, that would leave us with $500,583 to be used for anything that might come up in May, and also to carry money over.
Questions? Aaron?
I'm, oh, go ahead. There were a lot of numbers that just flew around. Can you
Yeah.
just remind me one more time what the current balance of the stabilization account is?
The current balance in stabilization is, the exact number is $1,745,524.
Okay.
And capital right now is $270,390.
Yes, Aaron?
Mike, if I can drag you back to free cash for a second, just kind of trying to sum that up. We've got 3.34 million in free cash. About 1.15 is coming from turnbacks. So about 1.1 total from budget receipts, or
Right.
budget receipts. And then the rest of that is
We had 300,000 that was not used for, remained in free
Starting.
cash. It was our starting balance.
from last year.
Yep.
And I'm afraid that's gonna happen. That was my concern.
And what about the last, like, 800, 900,000?
Well, whatever, I'm looking for that right now. Whatever, we didn't have an appropriation turnbacks, would have been obviously from revenue, which I thought was in your packets, but I don't see it.
But the three sources are turnbacks,
Appropriation balances.
appropriation balances, and then last year's free cash balance.
Yep, I can give you the exact here.
Those are the only.
This should have been in your packet. So the free cash was $3,340,583. Local receipts made up $1,794,866. Appropriation returns, $1,204,926. And unused prior year's free cash, $316,247.
Okay.
Anything else?
Final questions? Yes. Page?
All right, thank you. And next week, Monday again, and I know the school department is going to come on Monday.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Okay. All right. Will that be it, Mike? Any final questions for Mike? Okay. With that, the only thing, minutes will be coming forward. Hopefully, we're going to try electronically before our meeting, so we can review it and expedite the process a little quicker. Kaylee will be forward and probably doing two, hopefully, a week, Kaylee? Yep. Yep, buddy.
I didn't get an agenda this week. Just me, wasn't it?
Yeah. Huh? What?
I didn't get an agenda by email this week. Typically we get.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
that just be a.
I don't-
question. He was-
not quite sure how
Oh,
that
okay.
worked.
Probably me.
I was,
Thank you. I was just wondering.
Yeah.
If I missed it or lost
I'm
it or.
No, no,
That's
that's me.
Okay. Thank
yeah,
you.
I was past you. But, okay, so I guess the only final, speaking of electronically, I did email the report, our report, that will be included in the town report. And if anyone has any, just if we could, just everyone approve that. Much of it was reviewed in May, and the numbers were confirmed by the town manager's office, so. With that. Mike?
I only had one suggestion, that in the second last paragraph, the 700,000 shortfall seemed funny compared to the other numbers. I think if you just put 700,000 would be better. Just read funny to me. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but just kind of read.
Where is it, Peter? I'm sorry.
Second last paragraph says, but the 700,000 shortfall, but it looks like $700,000 shortfall. And in the other places, we put, the other we put digits towards it's from the second last paragraph. It's at the bottom. It's the last line.
He wrote out thousand instead of zeros.
Yeah, it's up with the zeros. Can you see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't look. It looked like it was still looking.
Okay,
It just looked funny. I don't know.
okay, yep.
Make it comma 000, I think would be better, yeah. I like the million part, that makes sense, but.
All right, well, that'll be done, so if we can, everyone's,
Oh, flip the page.
He might have been appointed
yep.
after our last session.
Is there,
Good. Need a motion to approve it, right?
April.
With the amendment as.
yep, second, okay, all those in favor, has been motioned to approve the report as amended. Peter, all those in favor? Opposed, abstained, approved. With that,
Motion to adjourn?
yes, could we- okay. All those in favor? Opposed, abstained, hearing none. Meeting is adjourned.